This podcast is just for fun. It's all fake. Don't believe us. Look, do your own research. Kind of a... Welcome to
the show. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. We
I need my caffeine pretty quick.
Recording me too. I'm so tired. I could fall asleep right here.
Yeah, same. Even after a scoop of dust, I am sheepy.
We just got done recording the Patreon. Don't forget to go to patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Yeah. And become a member, and you can listen to... This one was actually a long one. It was like an hour and 10 minutes.
We went for a
it's
while.
like a full another episode.
It was a good one, too. That was fun. We didn't get chaotic. It was chill conversation, but it was good conversation.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed our stuff that we talked about on that one.
Yep, that was a good Patreon. It started slow, but it finished well.
Yeah.
I think we started to waken up.
Yeah, we got
bit.
into it. It was good.
Patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Also want to shout out and to use our code on insanelabs.com, INSANELABZ.com. And if you go to one of our pages, you can find our link. And then on top of that, if you use the code BA Bigfoot, we get generous kickbacks from any of your sports nutrition and supplement needs. If you're going to buy protein from them, and then we get a kickback from that. I think
forgot to go buy my bloodbath last night. Oops. I need to hurry up and do that before they run out of my good flavors.
They might have actually... we'll see. But anyway.
I hope they didn't run out.
But I think they're running. But anyway. All that said, actually, we don't get into supplements right off the bat. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, we get
kickbacks.
We get kickbacks from that, and Insane Labs is awesome. They're a great company, and they actually are generous with their kickbacks.
You should want to support them, but if you don't, supporting them supports us.
Them. Yeah.
So,
I want to just I don't.
Please,
3, 2, 1.
I didn't care about doing it good. I just want to drink it. Oh. Yes.
That's not my favorite.
What is that?
Alani Nu Dream Float.
I don't like Alani.
Dream Float.
I like a couple.
I know
of
a couple
Alanis.
of them. They're okay. A couple of them are okay.
There's
orange creamsicle kind of orange float thing.
Their cherry slush is good. I got it because it's Dream Float. And so for the episode today, as a spoiler,
That's nice.
The ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon him, the last to hear the call?
How's your back feel?
better.
Good, because you're going to be carrying this episode.
This is true.
This is going to be...
I looked at you last night and I was like, I don't have anything for pod tomorrow because I have a sick kiddo. So.
I got up at 9 this morning and did like 20 minutes of reading, briefing, just trying to get kind of familiarized with the material.
I listened to a 6-hour podcast that gave me like no information.
Oh. I would have
But it
been
was
up
good.
an hour too then.
Well, it was actually really, really interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute.
But
first,
okay.
well, because I do talk about, because the podcast it matters because it's in the episode. So
fine.
sorry, I don't want to spoil. I don't want to spoil things right away. Okay.
No, I'm just wondering how it gave you nothing, but it was also interesting enough to hold your attention for 6
He said
hours.
It gave me
no
nothing
information.
for the like.
Okay, I got you.
Nothing that I couldn't have got from a short podcast, but it was a good podcast.
Okay.
But anyway, I've read a ton, but my problem with this is that I'm having issues with things overlapping so much. My brain is like, oh wait, I'm like, I want to talk about this. Oh no, we actually already talked about that last week. That's actually Operation Gate, or the gateway process. Oh, so my brain's having a hard time mixing because everything's so similar that it's just jumbling everything. But
Gateway Stargate.
So
yes,
can I start off by because I wasn't able to I think I came in at a weird point last time, but talking about the type of sounds with the gate program and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't
from a couple episodes ago.
Yeah. So I don't know if I know what those are.
Okay.
Did you say?
We can
explain
fine.
that.
That's fine.
we can re-explain. Let's do current events.
It bears
first.
debriefing anyway.
Yeah.
Because we're in gateway
read.
now, right?
We're
So
on our third
Okay.
of one step away from each of that process.
That's fine.
So let's do some current events first. Did you guys see that there was a mud volcano in Colombia that erupted?
What?
No.
It is so cool. You should look it
my
up.
goodness.
So
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. So apparently it's there's just
Scalding
tons and tons of mud, and so it blows up, and it looks like an explosion rather than like a volcano, like a kind of. That was some great sound effects. I know you appreciated it driving or listening to this in your ear.
You need to troll yourself and put that in the intro now.
Oh, done. On your suggestion. Okay, sorry. Instead of it doing the volcano-y, running magma kind of thing, it's just mud. And it just, there's a mile, I don't know, it's probably not a mile, but just this giant debris field, and it's just mud.
It's just coated.
Just
Everything's
coated everything in mud. No, it did say for a mile around. So a mile each way.
Radius?
Yes.
Sheesh.
So a mile each. So
that's a big mud volcano. Mud volcano sounds like a euphemism
diamond.
for post Taco Bell diarrhea.
Speaking of fast foods, we talked about that a little bit on the Patreon.
Wow.
Not diarrhea. We talked about fast food, trying to entice people to listen. Not anyway. But yeah, it was really cool looking at the images and stuff. And there was mud for an entire mile around it.
It's got to be God, I can't say it now since Phil brought that up, but it's going to be
sorry.
A hot steaming mud, right?
It was initially, yeah.
Just
Yep.
he's scalding mud.
Jason, that was 4. 5.
Oh
6.
gosh.
7.
Oh my gosh. All right. Next topic, because I've got a ton.
You're fine.
Next topic. There is a 99% probability that Brandon Herrera will officially have won.
I'm so stoked about that.
That is huge.
Huh?
Okay.
Brandon Herrera,
District 23, Texas.
If you're into pew pews and you watch pew pew content online, you pretty much know who Brandon Herrera is.
Gotcha.
You have watched it vicariously through me, not vicariously on tension.
Probably.
But anyway, you've watched it because I've watched it. I guarantee you know who it is.
Now going to be former congressman for District 23 of Texas, was a bad Republican. Very much, and he voted terrible firearm legislation. And just
a weird dude.
And
too.
and so Brandon ran against him last election, got 49% or something it was close. He was close enough to take it to a runoff.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know how that works. Basically, if you don't get over 50% of the votes,
Texas.
In Texas, if you don't get over 50% of the votes, then you and the second place candidate go to another election where it's just you two. And so
okay.
that's a runoff. Brandon lost by like 400 votes.
I thought you were going to
last
say
time.
like they get in a
close.
duel or something.
That would be
That would
so
be sick.
cool. Brandon
That'd be
Herrera would
sick.
have definitely won.
Oh, he'd
But no,
he'd
the separate
slay on
election,
that.
the separate election thing, that just sounds like what we do in like pastor stuff, like district
Yeah.
council.
Yeah.
voting.
Yeah,
It's like,
very
oh,
similar
okay.
to that. Very
That's not
similar
as
to that, actually.
exciting.
That's
but
actually,
I'm sure
like-
that's more diplomatic, whatever.
That's pretty much exactly what happens
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
But
pastoral elections.
anyway, so last time he took it super close. Well, this time, like a couple weeks ago, it came out that now former Tony Gonzalez had an affair with one of his staffers, and then she wound up dead recently,
Oh my
allegedly
goodness.
by self-unaliving,
Allegedly.
and it allegedly, strong on the allegedly. Well, this all came out, and I didn't think he was going to do it for a little bit, but he did eventually. He stepped down 2 days ago. Well, he was the one that Brandon was going to be in the runoff with. So now it's going to be one of the Democrats against him. And
In
the
a
top
pretty
one
heavy
was like
Republican area.
8% of the votes
Yeah.
in the primary. So like
The odds
Wow.
are there's
it's almost
Pretty much guaranteed.
It's almost guaranteed
nuts.
that he's going to be the new congressman
See,
for
part of me
which
is
is
like
phenomenal.
Part of
Yeah.
me is like, come on, you're really going to be so cliche that you're going to sleep with like your campaign, like someone who's working on your campaign. Like, how many hundreds of people have done that? But then the other part of me is like, but that's humans. But then the other part of me is like, but was that in and of itself like fabricated? I don't know.
He's just a
nuts.
creep. Like
That's fine.
Regardless
That's
of how you feel about the politics side of things, he is a creep.
Yeah, I think it's the kind of person who typically wants that position is the kind of person who's going to cheat.
Yeah,
and
that's
who's going to
true.
do those
Yeah.
kind
True.
of things. And that's part of the
Just
reason
like
I'm
a lot
so
of
glad.
narcissists also become pastors too. So
That's
anyways,
but
sorry,
that's part of the reason I love that Brandon Herrera won, because if you were to pick one person on this earth who is probably the least likely to actually want that job, it's Brandon Herrera.
Yeah.
He does not want it, but he recognizes the need to the point where he's like, I can actually affect change, at least within my state and my region. Like he's almost
exactly
feeling
the person
it's
you
his
want to do.
obligation rather than
Yes.
something
Yeah.
he desires.
Yes.
According
He is
to my
the exact
experience
person
in
you
life,
want to do.
that's the exact sort of person
Yep.
who needs that position.
He
so
is the perfect person for
that
it.
sounds great.
Yeah, as soon as you get into people that's like they want that job,
Yes.
they want that position
Yeah.
of
And
power.
they'll bend their
You don't want
ethics
that
and
person
to
in that
accomplish
position of
this.
power.
Yeah.
Not to drag this out, but the highlight of the previous round of elections was the fact that they were going at it on Twitter, and Brandon's on the Unsubscribe podcast, which
I want to see
not-
all of those guys run for
not the humor that a lot of our people will want to listen to. Like it's rather colorful.
Yeah, it's
but
not Christian.
It's not a Christian podcast, but they're super cool dudes.
They're funny, dude.
and they are hilarious.
They're
and
pretty funny.
A couple of them, Donut Operator's famous for doing like the police shooting breakdowns. That's his thing. He doesn't really do those very much
seen some
anymore.
of
He
those,
got
yeah.
out of it as much as he could. It was depressing for him, but he's a super cool dude. And he and the Fat Electrician were just bullying Tony on Twitter. It was hilarious. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was so good. So yeah, I'm super excited to see how Brandon does in Congress. It ought to be really good.
Yeah,
I'm
it'd be
hoping
good to
that
have.
kind of carries some momentum into other parts of the country. Like some other people go, oh, you can do that.
Yeah.
Like
You can
okay.
run off of your national platform to win a local election.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
So anyway,
Wow.
But yeah,
All right.
I'm stoked for that.
Me
That's
too.
nuts.
Good news.
Next thing. Going back. Part of the reason I'm excited is because I like Brandon Herrera's personality. He's such a funny.
I love him.
But he's also very authentically him.
Yes.
And now, if I were to choose,
Unapologetically him.
if I were to choose, obviously, as a Christian, I want a Christian, like very Christian person in
Yeah.
political positions.
Yeah.
But I also, if it's not going to be a Christian, I want somebody who is authentically them, and I know who it is, so I know what I'm getting.
Yeah.
And I might not agree 100% with Brandon Herrera at times, because there's been times where I have disagreed with him, but I know what he's going to say and I know what his opinion is.
He's also
And so
got-
if that changes
Yeah.
dramatically all of a sudden,
Yeah.
it's easy to tell, oh, he
That's
got
a
bought out.
very good litmus test. Yeah.
Because you know what he's going to vote
Brandon's also got some very close Christian friends that I think he would probably
Yeah, he
take
does,
advice
yeah.
from.
Yeah,
Wendigoon
absolutely.
in particular
Yep.
is legit.
He's got a good circle around him too,
Yep.
and their whole circle are very
Reasonable people.
authentic, trustable.
Yep.
Whether they're Christian or not, they are who they are. Kind of.
They're genuine people,
personalities,
and
genuine. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Next thing. So psychology. This is going to be a short one because we all know this, but psychologists have actually proven now that there was a phenomenon that happened with late 80s and early 90s gamers because the games that they played taught them that failing was a part of the process and that you needed to learn things and nobody was going to tell you how to do things. And so you had to find the secrets on your own. You had to figure it out, figure out the process, figure out the routes.
before YouTube tutorials.
Memorize processes, memorize them on your own.
Yep.
And failure was okay because you got to go through and it became a process of even once you had completed the game, you want to complete it faster and faster. Right. And so there was never really a finality.
Right.
Whereas Gen Z and Gen Alpha now, and Gen Alpha is even worse than Gen Z, but their games not only you don't fail because you immediately respawn where you're at. The save points are instantaneous. You don't have to just figure it out. You don't get a certain number of lives, that kind of thing. But also their harder campaign games give them like the routes and tell them like how to get to this spot. You don't have to look it up. I was playing Borderlands 4, and part of the reason I liked Borderlands the first one was because you just kind of had to figure it out.
Yeah.
Like it told you like the general idea of where you needed to go. You'd have to pull up the map, figure out how to get there, and it was open world, and it was a lot of fun. On the newest one, the newest one, sorry, our boy number one, we're watching him while we're trying to record, and he's got a mind of his own, and so Courtney's having to go and tackle
She's
and
on
take care
kid
of him.
patrol.
We might, yeah, but anyway, so the like level of which it just like everything's easy in the game,
yeah,
and it took out all of the like fun figuring it, like even like your vehicles, your vehicles back in the original ones. If you wanted a vehicle, you had to go find a vehicle station, create your vehicle, and then take your vehicle and go figure out where you wanted to go, and you could map it out on your own. You could spawn a spot on the thing, but now your vehicle instant spawns wherever you are. You just have your vehicle on you at all times. So there's never any process where you need to go slow.
Yeah.
And then you just tap a button and it auto arrows to where you need to go for your mission. And so you don't even have to like figure it out on your own anymore. So it speeds up the process of the game. So you finish the game in half the time. And then like all of the little like side things that exist, you never even like,
yeah. I'm going to try not
it's
to
a
make
good
this,
game.
I'm going to try not to make this a long tangent because I don't want this to get dragged out. But that's part of the reason that, and Bill has been enjoying this with me. Escape from Tarkov is such a great game, is because there's no learning curve. It's a learning cliff. There's no tutorials for anything. Nothing is explained. Like the mechanics of the game are not explained. You have your list of controls. Doesn't tell you what they do. Like you have to figure out how it works. You have to figure out, like, now people have made tutorials and stuff, guides, and there's a wiki for all of it so that you kind of can figure out what stuff does. But like the first wave of people that played that game, I cannot believe that they stuck with it because there was nothing. It was just, you are dropped in. You have to figure out how to progress, move forward, even just get out of the first raid that you do. Like it is a ridiculously challenging game to learn and to progress through. And I'm actually super proud of my father-in-law. And I think part of the reason is because he's been a gamer for most of his life. He played on console up until just recently, but he didn't have guides when he was playing.
When I first started playing video games, if you wanted a guide, like even before like the internet,
right?
If you wanted a guide, you wanted to figure it out, like you had to wait until one of the magazines came out that had the cheats in the magazine,
right?
Or it was like a book, like a like a catalog almost of magazine, and you had to buy that as well,
Game
and then
Shark
take it home, and
else,
then
yeah.
you had a few of the cheats,
Yeah.
and a how to get through the game if you got stuck.
Yep.
And so if you wanted to do it, so it's like if you got to a spot, and the only time you really ever bought those was if you were stuck. Because you didn't want to spend another $15 on something
Right.
that you just spent $30 on in order to get past one part. So if you got stuck, that was really the only
remember
time.
those.
Those were cool, but that was the
So-
only time.
yeah.
You couldn't just pull up.
But so
YouTube
Bill's
real
just
quick.
ignoring
Yeah.
guides.
So
Like for the
that's how
most
he is,
part,
yeah,
for the most
'cause
part,
that's
he's
the
like
generation
he'll
he was
watch
in.
other people play, but like he's mostly just trying to do everything himself and not really like watching guides on how to do stuff. And it's
Yeah.
like that's cool to watch because like I was kind of in between where like I remember. Some of my favorite games are like the games that I hail as the best of all time, or like games that I didn't finish. Like I never did you ever beat the original Super Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Did you? I made it to the last level a few times. There was a one jump that I just always struggled with. And I think the NES finally gave up the ghost when I was probably around like 12, 13. And so I never got to finish it. I kind of want to go back and try to finish it. But you're talking about like no save points, no like stuff like that. Like there's no way to just drop yourself in on 8-8. If you die or 8, was it 8-4? Is that how they went? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it was the next world.
Yeah.
There was no way to just. I mean, you could skip some levels with the.
Yeah,
that was a
you
game
knew
mechanic, but like you still had to get there. Like you couldn't just drop in to that, that spot. There's no save file.
Yeah.
Midnight Club 3. I never beat that game. I made it. I think actually, I don't even think I made. I think I made it to like 65 or 70% of the way through that game. Because it was just
I beat
a grind.
The dub edition version.
That's the one that I had. Yeah. I never beat it. I got quite a ways, but there was, and that one I think it was more because I had Need for Speed Most Wanted to fall back on at the same point, and I thought that was a more fun game. You didn't have to, the races weren't quite as long, and the story was a little bit better, and so I usually played that one. That one I did beat. Still the greatest racing game of all time. Fight me. But
there was a game that to this day still hurts my soul that I didn't finish because I made it to the final boss and I could never beat the stupid thing.
What game was that?
Jet Force Gemini.
Oh.
To this day, as soon as you say I didn't finish, that's the very first game because I'm a very completionist mind.
me
Like,
too.
I got to
Me
finish
too.
the game,
Me too.
even if I don't finish the side quests. But I want to finish even the side quests on games now.
Right.
Like I've got to finish the game, and that game, I would during the summer, I would have my music going for hours trying to beat the stupid final boss. And I could just never do it. And I was pretty young, so I wasn't and that was before, and it didn't matter. Guides on how to beat it, all that stuff. I just couldn't beat the stupid thing. That game, it was unfinished. And I will never pick it up ever again because I hate it. But anyway, that game, that was my unfinished game. But but again, so kind of going back, were you going to say something before
I had a Looney Tunes game on PlayStation that was, I know, I'm not talking original
PlayStation
NES.
had
but
some wild games.
It was
bro.
looking back, I don't know if it was just buggy. Bugs Bunny. Anyways.
Yeah.
Or what, but it was you got to the Marvin the Martian levels and I'm like, this is impossible. Impossible. But anyways.
Yeah.
The era where they made movies and TV shows into video games was a very strange era.
Yeah. 007.
The Batman games, Spider-Man games. The Spider-Man games played a little bit better just because the mechanics of it made sense for a video game.
There were a couple of the X-Men games that were good.
Yeah. There was just
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Dude, the Ninja Turtle games are goated. Those games were so much fun.
I haven't played those, but it just
those all like goats. They were goated. I love the Ninja Turtle games so much that every time a new Ninja Turtle movie came out, I made my brother. I wish he was here. He's getting some ink therapy this weekend, so he couldn't be here. I guess we didn't really address that he wasn't here yet, but so he couldn't come here this weekend. But
how's your voice doing, Mike? Still gone? Okay, cool.
yeah, it's good. Does that sound annoying?
Oh, here it is. Here's Mike.
Courtney, this is your opportunity. You get to imitate Mike.
Oh my gosh, I can't do that on this
without
phone.
pressure, all the pressure. So there you go.
Oh wow.
We have.
You can have a second.
Oh.
But you get to imitate, since you typically we
heart's
imitated
racing
you
now.
a couple weeks ago.
That's true. A couple weeks ago. Yeah, no.
A couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
2 months.
All the time. It's been a minute. All right. Ready? You just got to do it. Gotta embrace it. 3, 2, 1, go.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
You got to start with the very
I know.
the soft
Yeah.
voice, but then sound like you're trying to talk louder.
a couple of my kids who come to jujitsu, man. Like, no, I can't do it.
Keep going, keep going. That was good. Keep going. You're doing
better
good.
than I did.
My
Go.
You're doing good. Keep going.
I just got a couple of really cool kids who come to jujitsu, man, and I just know that they could find it within themselves to just, to just. No, I can't do it.
You're doing so good. That was good.
I think the hard part, I just realized, the hard part is trying to maintain the voice and think about what you would
you're gonna
say
Yeah.
Yes.
at the same time. Trying to do both. If you had a script, I think you'd do fine with the voice.
That's true. That's true.
You could come up with what you would say first and then
and then
say
do the
it.
voice.
But
no.
But trying
and
to
then making it a joke too, and
trying
like
to be
making it
funny.
something.
yeah,
And,
trying to make it flow
no,
is tough.
it's so.
But
Anyways,
oh yeah. Anyway,
do you want to say hi?
the
Say welcome to the show. No, you just want to listen. Yeah.
But psychology has actually determined that the people who did play those games tend to be better adjusted to failure in life and things like that. However, they're also more likely to stay in positions that maybe they should move on from. Whereas Gen Z and Gen Alpha
keep
are
trying.
more likely, I'm like this, I'm moving on
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah,
they
they're
don't
more
care what it looks
selective.
like on their job record. They don't, and so they move on too fast.
Interesting.
But Gen Z and older, or not Gen Z, but millennials and older, especially Gen X, they tend to stay in positions longer than they probably should that they're dissatisfied with, because they've failure is okay, and so failing and not liking work is not viewed as being a failure. It's just viewed as but anyway, that was kind of a cool study. I'm gonna keep looking into that.
I
maybe
just
we'll do an
mention
episode on it.
Minecraft just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And my difficulties of how are you supposed to know that redstone does that?
That's part of the reason I like Minecraft.
But no, that's why I hate it though. It's because I'm how am I supposed to know what to do? How am I supposed to know that you put a pumpkin on something?
Yeah.
You build a body-like thing and then you put a pumpkin on it and you make a golem. That doesn't even make any sense in the real world, except that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's why I love it.
And so but I don't want to look up stuff on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my 2 cents.
I have heard word. Do you remember the Miami incident? The Miami Mall incident?
Yes.
So
I think I got too close to the mic.
shout out Javi Dade. He's a phenomenal musician. He's got a couple Christian albums. If those of you guys that like clean music, he's got some clean music. Those of you guys that don't care, he's got some not clean music.
But we love Javi.
Awesome dude. We love Javi. He's a great dude. Also, Xander said I can say his name.
Yay.
Xander and Javi are identical twins separated.
They
at birth,
really
I'm
do
convinced.
look a lot
Even Xander was like,
Our
holy
friend
crap.
Xander.
It's like looking at myself. Dude. But they're
wife.
so similar.
As soon as you said, he reminds me of Forgiven, I was like, I knew he reminded me of somebody.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out who it was. And as soon as you said it, I was like, Xander.
It's wild.
With
It's
the long
wild.
braids.
It is
Instead.
wild how similar
Actually
they are.
looked it up, yeah.
But anyway, Esteban.
the face structure,
Yes.
Yes.
your head shaped the same.
And not even just the
crazy.
face, but when he's facing away from the camera in pictures too.
their
I'm
voice,
like, that
the
is
mannerisms,
Xander, dude.
everything.
It's
Everything
nuts.
about them. But anyway,
Just different
Javi.
hair.
Anyway, continue.
Javi Dade. Speaking of which, tonight he's got a big thing. He's got a new song releasing. Give him a shout out. He's awesome, and he supports the show. He loves us.
Yeah, go pop into his live and say that we sent you.
Yeah, if
Tonight, or when this comes out tonight?
So tonight, while we're recording this,
Wow.
he's got a big show in Miami. But he's trying to get some of his songs on, or a song on the new Grand Theft Auto game that's supposed to come out. It's supposed to take place in Miami. And he's from Miami. But anyway, so Javi, because he's born and raised Miami, he has. I'll just say he knows somebody who was there at the mall.
Oh, really?
Apparently it was just kids fighting, according to his very close personal acquaintance.
Is his very close personal acquaintance now living at large in a giant mansion with a bunch of cars now?
I don't know, but Javi said he trusts him.
Okay.
My thing, I love Javi, I trust Javi, but man,
I don't know your friend.
I literally still though, I have a hard time with that response for kids just fighting. I'm not necessarily saying like I think it was aliens or anything like that. Like the ones that are like, oh, they accidentally put in the wrong coordinates for Antarctica and they ended.
Play Fortnite.
Yeah, you like to play Fortnite?
Ooh,
What's your favorite game on
talking about
Fortnite?
Video games.
You don't know? Do you like the steal the brain rot games?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you like Fall Guys, huh?
Oh, you do like the Fall Guys, huh?
Is that on Fortnite?
Yeah, they are owned by Fortnite now. Fall Guys is.
Interesting.
Yep. He likes the racing games too, the rocket racing. But anyway, so
I like to hit the people games.
they hit the people games.
Yeah, like at Fortnite.
Like on Fortnite.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
he likes watching Dad play those games.
Yes.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I still, and even when Javi said it in his live on TikTok. If you have TikTok, hit up Insane Labs in the evenings on the weekdays. He does a live, and so Javi's a label is owned by and is ran by Insane Labs. So I think it's like, I can't remember the name of the record label, but Insane Labs owns a record label, and that's who Javi is signed with.
I don't know that I knew that.
Wayne Wood is also signed with them.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So they're both under, I want to say it's like Carnivore Music or something like that.
That's
I can't remember the name of it, but
right.
I need to look it up. But I'm giving them a shout out. Anyway, their music's awesome. But either way, but yeah, so even in the live, I was like, Javi, my problem is why that response? Because once you found out it was just kids, why that response would continue to grow?
Well, okay.
I don't, and he obviously doesn't have an explanation because he just has somebody
Right.
who he knows he asked.
I want to know what the original call was, if that was what it wound up being.
I'm guessing they probably thought it was a firearm. But
Dude, I don't care.
even still, that response is wild.
No mass firearm discharge event in U.S. history has had a response of that size. None.
Yeah.
No.
None.
No.
Vegas? No. San Diego? No.
Vegas's response to the largest shooting in
Pulse?
American
No,
history
yeah.
was barely that. Like, wasn't even.
Not even close. Not even close.
Yeah.
No, there's never been that might be the largest police response in U.S. history, aside from maybe 9/11. That's the only thing that might.
me of 9/11. Yeah.
That's
wild.
that's the degree of response that was.
It seemed-
You mean to tell me that kids fighting got the same response as the World Trade Center having planes flown into it?
Right.
No,
That's wild.
no,
but-
I have a hard time with that.
I do too.
We really do need to be paying teachers more in that case.
No joke. But yeah, apparently the locals around there, that's why we've never really seen many locals say stuff, is because the locals from everybody they know, just say that's all it actually was.
Okay, my other problem with that is, why was there no footage of that still? Like, what was
And I feel like there would be, give us the body cams.
Kids are going to record that and put that out.
Give us the body cam footage. That many police officers, there has to be body cam footage. Release the body cam footage, blur out the faces, give us the proof.
Was there anything else that happened on that day? Like,
I don't know.
big?
I haven't gone back and looked. We should.
I wonder if something else big happened that day and that could have been a distraction.
think
That
that
would
was-
make sense.
That's possible.
Yeah,
That's
think
possible.
that was back when it was just one crazy thing happening like every
it was,
couple
yeah.
weeks. But we were like, oh my gosh, there's so much happening so quickly, and now it's just
Yeah.
like whatever.
No, there's like
It felt
5 a
like
day.
it got buried
It's just
fast.
like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to be using the whole it was shadow being stuff. I'm going to be using that to market my book because it's basically the same thing as my book. So, anyways,
Yeah. So kind of moving into some other current events. So this was one that I think I have two more. This one's frustrating. So the U.S. House voted to block a bill that would release the SA misconduct, to put it with trigger terminology, reports of all politicians. So basically, there was this bill that came through, and basically what it would do is slush funds. Now, here's the thing. Here's the key. They have slush funds that are government tax money that they pull out of to pay the litigation against these cases.
so not
to
slush
protect the
funds,
politicians.
hush funds.
So they have these funds. This bill would have said that if they're going to use government money for defending against a sexual misconduct case, that it would have to be disclosed. Okay, so they struck it down. They voted no on it. But here's the thing: it wasn't like a partisan issue. It was 357 to 65.
Yeah.
I know, Ben.
Right.
The only other bills that I've seen that have gotten that much both party support is stuff that has to do with the country in the Middle East that is our ally.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're telling me that there were only 65 of the 400 plus politicians that were like, hey, if you're going to use taxpayer money to defend yourself okay, beyond if it's private money, whatever, and I'll just make this: if you were wanting to disclose you using your private money to defend yourself, whatever, I mean, okay, I could see that getting passed to getting declined or not going through, getting shut down. But when you're using my money,
right,
our money as taxpayers,
Right.
to defend yourself, that should be disclosed, and I should know that you're using my money in cases to protect yourself against
100%.
and yet these same people will go after churches for how they regard their finances,
I have
even
a
though we have
question.
to be above board and transparent in every single matter.
At this
everything.
point, I think the church conduct, and that's not to say that there isn't, and I do think that there needs to be the light shined when there is.
Boy.
You like Bluey? Yeah. When there are churches and when there are pastors that do that stuff, I want them out. I want the light shine.
Yes.
They need to be gone, and they should never pastor ever again. I'm not trying to protect them, but I think the focus from the media on those cases is just a distraction away from things like this.
Oh, yeah.
Because it occurs at a significantly higher level in our schools and in our politics at a significantly higher level. But if you ask any person off the street, they would think that it happens more in churches. And it's not even a tenth of a percent. Yeah. It's not even a tenth.
Local government.
Yeah. It's not even
All the way up to
at a
federal.
tenth of the amount that goes on in our schools and our politics. But yet we think, and we're groomed almost to think that it occurs at the same level or higher in the churches.
I agree 100% with everything you said. I have one question. Was there anything else in the bill that we would not want to go through?
Here's why I think there
know?
wasn't. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
But here's why I think there wasn't. Because if there was something else in the bill that we didn't want to go through, I feel like it would have been a partisan split 50-50 vote.
Depends on what it is. But
I've
agree.
yet to see politicians with something trying to be slid through. I've yet to see politicians protect the other aisle.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Well, I'm not worried about it. I'm not thinking about something that would have protected or hurt one side or the other, but something that would have been against the people. at large. And I'm not saying there was or was. I'm just curious if that may have been. Not that it matters. The reason, and it shouldn't matter, because the reason it shouldn't matter is because it should all be single issue bills.
Exactly.
Yeah, bills should all be single issue.
That drives me nuts, and I can't believe that it's allowed for people to sneak, or for them, the cars to sneak in like things into bills,
or to load up a good bill with bogus stuff to sneak it.
Yep. No, I can't believe that's legal.
Yeah, bills should all be single issue.
Everything should be single issue bills.
To move into the last thing for current events before we get into our topic. So I was watching some very educational information.
Oh yeah.
And I went through and I started viewing. So I found it on TikTok originally. And I took it and I went from their TikTok and I went and found their long form content on YouTube and was watching them. And this lady is, she's been involved in government finances since she was real young, and she's old now. And now her content is basically her like educating us on some of this stuff. So something happened in the skirmish in the Middle East.
Minecraft popped up.
Yeah, it did. Minecraft popped up in the Middle East.
She said that TikTok I sent you.
Yeah.
When you see that one by chance?
Probably not. Okay, so Trump, love him or hate him, he might have done something that as an American, hard to be mad at. So what happened was in the Strait of Hormuz, that with the battle and the skirmish, because it's not a war, with the skirmish that's going on currently, it's not a war until it's declared a war or after 60 days or whatever. So the ships that were traveling through there is apparently only one real insurance company that would insure the tankers going through that strait. It was the largest financier of the UK and Great Britain. So they decided all of a sudden they were no longer going to insure ships going through there, trying to, in what I see and what this lady said, in an attempt to try to get Trump and US to kind of back off a little bit. So instead of backing off, Trump instead doubles down and says, our insurance as Americans, so America is going to now insure these places, but not only is America going to insure them, our Navy is going to be escorting them through. So now a ship cannot transport oil through the Strait of Hormuz, or any tankers can't transport anything without having the approval of the U.S. Navy and being insured by a U.S. organization. So if they're going to China, the U.S. just says, no, and we're not going to insure you. And so the owners of those tankers go, oh, I guess we're no longer going to China. And holy cow, is that a power move?
That's, you want to talk about business strategy? That is brilliant. And that is so brilliant.
Whether you agree with it or not, if it's, and as the president of our country, he should have our country's best interest in mind. I 100% agree with that. And now you can get into the argument of, as Christians, do we support war? That's a totally different conversation. I'm just trying to focus on, as the leader of the country, trying to do things with the best interest of the country in mind. That was a power move.
Well, and that's apparently not the only place in the world that's happening where there's a U.S. presence there like that anyways, right? So this is like not a brand new thing. It's already happening in a few different places.
Venezuela. Big one now, too.
What about the Suez Canal?
I'm not sure on that.
I don't know either.
I'm not sure. But
I shouldn't speak without knowing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
but no, that's in...
I like it though in the Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, the Great Wolf Lodge is pretty awesome. We love that Great Wolf Lodge. What do you like doing at the Great Wolf Lodge?
I like it doing at the arcade bowl in Africa's
He just shrugged his shoulders like, I don't know, Dad.
He says, I like the arcade and bowling.
I just say stuff. You can't ask me questions to like expand upon what I say.
Oh, man, buddy.
Dude,
You're amazing.
that's sick.
Yeah.
That like and that's the thing I appreciate, like
I want to dance in a dance party.
Dance in the dance party? Yes,
yeah.
we love dancing. Huh?
I appreciate leaders that don't let other leaders bully them. I appreciate, which that's what we've already kind of beat this horse pretty hard, but like been in a bunch of just posturing contests for a long time, and Trump's just like, call everybody's bluff. I don't care. Like, we all know who's the real big dog here. So let's just do this.
Yeah.
You want to dance? Let's dance. You want to walk away? Walk away. I'm not walking away. I'm going to stand my ground. We're going to do things.
Yeah.
Like, we don't bluff. We do the opposite of bluff.
I saw a meme that was kind of actually funny, and maybe we can move on, but it's joking, so I'm joking, so don't take me seriously. This is just a joke. It's just for fun. Okay, and this is a legend.
It's just for fun.
It says Muslim countries that support the operation in Iran: Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Turkey, UAE, Bahrain. Muslim countries that do not support the operations in Iran: France and the UK.
Oh my goodness.
Ouch.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, that was pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Pretty good.
Anyway.
Can we do some LA countries next? I got the first one, Minnesota.
Nah.
You're going to cut that.
Racist.
That's cut.
Probably not. I don't know.
His laugh. He's like, you're racist. He's like,
That's my boy.
Okay, well, let's get into the content for today.
Okay.
So, we're talking about the Operation Stargate.
You keep changing the prefix name.
What is it?
Project.
yeah.
Project Stargate. There we go.
It was the Gateway Project,
Dude,
which
There's
included
so
the Gateway
many of
process, but it's Project. Gateway Project and Stargate Project. Project Stargate.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm starting to get confused.
It is a bit confusing.
I heard on a video the audio that you supposedly heard in the GATE program, and it said this is the gateway into something, and so I think that's why I'm getting stuff mixed up.
Dude, they're all like similar stuff. They all run similar, and they ran like at the same times, and they had names that were similar.
Stargate seems to harken back a bit further.
Well, here's the thing.
You had-
Operation Stargate, it had predecessors, but its official government
Launch
Freedom of
time,
Information Act timeline was 1972 to 1995.
Okay.
That is roughly the same time frame as the GATE program ran.
Yeah.
Under the official term, the GATE program. So now we've got Project Stargate, and then
the GATE project.
GATE project. So what was the GATE project trying to find? The STAR students. So it's the Stargate project. So it's the STAR pupils in the GATE program go on to be in the Stargate.
It's giving
Come on, that was it. That was
great.
that was good, right?
What? Yes.
Okay.
Good connection.
Okay, continue.
Do you know?
No,
It's fine.
no,
It's fine. No,
go.
it's not gonna be.
Go.
Say it.
Go.
I was just gonna say it's giving service master and then service matters. And
Oh, yeah. We're just trying to change the name so we don't get sued.
Just so we don't get sued. Just like Michael Scott. Like I have many good names. Michael Scott Paper Company. Good Paper Company. Michael Paper. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Michael Paper Goods Scott Company.
Yes.
Exactly.
Do you remember when the Monroe Institute was founded?
I don't
I feel
remember.
like it was like I feel like it was
phone.
like 1971 or something like that.
I don't remember, but I want to say probably right around there. And this was apparently separate from that, but not. But
When
like,
was the Monroe Institute of
overlaps.
Applied Sciences founded? 1971.
Yeah, so here we go. Okay.
Brother.
I was going to play the sound from the GATE program. See if I can find it real quick.
Please.
So you can continue to ask questions. Well, yeah, if you want to hear it, but give me a second. But
No, Mom, no. But it's my headset.
oh wait,
I'm
no,
confusing us.
That's not the GATE program. But that was the Gateway.
That's what I'm talking
Well,
about.
we're pretty sure that the people in the GATE program remember hearing the GATE process sound in the GATE program. So
Gateway process sound in the
Yeah.
GATE program. Yeah. Yeah, you're
Okay.
Okay,
Let me
you didn't
get
get
the
enough
one-
credit. I'm going to retroactively give it to you. Star pupils from the GATE program. Stargate. Yeah, that's quite
makes
good.
sense, right?
Yes.
But how do you get from GATE to Stargate?
You have
Come on, it's right there.
Students who
I'm handing this to you on a
project.
platter.
astral project.
It's the Gateway.
No. That was good.
Why do you suck?
Because it happens. It happens.
It's the alley oop of I threw you a lob on a 7-foot hoop. Couldn't catch it.
This is the first step along your path to a gateway.
Brother,
That's the initial sound. So you've got him got him listening to the ocean. And you really do have to have. So this is going to sound off to us and possibly the listeners too. So don't take too much with it because the way our sound output is, it combines it into one and then streams it back out to two. So you're not getting the separate sounds like it's intended to. Mm-hmm. You have to listen to this video with audio that is from this video.
Put a link in the Discord, maybe.
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. And or
I'll do that right now.
Video.
But yeah, so it can't be like the way ours is set up. You're just hearing one of the ears, so it's going to sound really weird.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Because and then that's just because of the way that
Our audio
system is set up to make it easier.
Went upstairs.
Oh, did he? Okay, go ahead and I'll save it. Oh, we'll talk about other stuff until you get back.
That is really a familiar sound, though,
Yeah,
to me.
dude, it's right. It's almost like you're just and instantly it just takes you back somewhere, but you don't know where it's taking you.
Yep.
You're like, what
I
is this
hear
from?
being a child and channel surfing and finding like a sci-fi movie from like 1970. That's
Yeah.
where that takes me.
That sounds
I was too late for Gate. Too late for Gate.
okay.
I missed the
Link
Gate.
is posted.
Gate was
in the
closed.
Discord. Yeah, and some kids did experience a Gate program-esque thing after 95, but the official Gate program technically ended in 95, it sounds like. Some schools might have continued it within their system, but the actual like official Gate program. So you're telling me that Operation Stargate ended the same year that the Gate program ended, or projects, whatever. I keep changing that. Whatever it is. But anyway.
Gate and Stargate ended the same year? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they both ended in 95. And so that's what a coincidence.
Because Gateway is still going.
Yeah.
Like,
but it shifted from
they don't they don't allegedly don't do the same stuff that they did. It's different focus and stuff like that now, but
yeah.
But that institute is still going and they still do research stuff.
Yes. Sorry.
He kicked me.
So
I'm being bullied.
the Operation Stargate, is it Project Stargate? There we go. Operation Project Stargate. It started as a few different other programs and it really got solidified into one. And the idea was that they wanted to experiment with spying. and how to spy on people using the human brain.
Yeah.
And whether there were people, and it started as like trying to find like people who were psychic, who were psychically connected.
Right.
And then eventually it morphed into like astral projecting to different places and stuff like that.
So this is more the remote viewing that we kind of alluded to previously.
Specifically the remote viewing stuff.
But Gateway was kind of the tech that they used for that, yes? Or is there more to it, or is there something else, or is it different?
This is...
How's this?
This... I think it's different. This is specifically using people who already were capable, okay. My thought process on this was the GATE program identified people who would be able to do the gateway process successfully. The operation, the Project Stargate, then took the people who were successful
in the
gateway program and then used them for trying to spy.
Okay, so it was kind of a funnel thing from
that's my theory.
Schools. That's we're running with this as the theory. A funnel from schools, the GATE program, into the Gateway program and training people in the Gateway process, and then taking the people that were able to achieve like Focus 21
at good results,
and push them into Stargate, and that was the goal, the end goal of the CIA. This whole thing, getting them into the Gateway or Stargate. Now you have me confused. Get them into Stargate to use them to spy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, so more of the sound. So you hear how it's kind of oscillating? So they oscillate differently so that it kind of makes your brain sync up. We're just hearing one of the two ears.
Okay.
But yeah, hours of this.
This is a crazy...
Blowing out stale, used up energy. And as you exhale, use your physical vocal cords to hum or sing along with the resonant tuning sound.
Like that's the first wave one.
This is a crazy coincidence. Last night, I was listening to the No Dumb Questions podcast, and they were talking about music. They had a professional musician on, somebody that makes music professionally.
Gate if you need to.
And they were talking about the beat.
Sorry.
No, you're good. They were talking about like the beat frequency and like how to like your brain doesn't detect like 4 hertz, but it can detect a 4 hertz difference at higher frequencies, like between two frequencies. They were talking about that in the podcast I was listening to last night. I didn't know going in that they were going to talk about that. I did not seek that out, but it was just crazy that was the episode. I was like 12 episodes behind on that podcast. Oh, yeah. And that was the one that I came into last night. I was like, brother, I am on this track right now.
Dude, that's great.
I was so happy about it. I was like, bro, that's awesome.
I've actually had that happen a few different times when I go to research something, and it's like that happened with the Sean Ryan interview or whatever I was listening to. It was like so that was one of the agents. It was a 6-hour long interview, and he did talk about his experience in this. What's going on?
He's not going to come back downstairs.
Oh, dang it.
It's going to be fine, and he's going to start crying.
Gosh. Yeah. Little guy. We keep our downstairs as like a alternate play area with toys that he doesn't normally get to play with, so that when we come down, if we have to bring him down with, he can go in there and play. But he's been
not having it today.
Yeah, he's been grumpy this morning, so it's not working out. So Courtney will pop back in if she can convince Bennett to come back downstairs. Okay, so, but basically what they were trying to do was they were trying to weaponize this process.
Yeah.
This psychic / out of body experience / astral projecting. They're trying to weaponize it, and it ran for allegedly it ended in 95. I who knows if it did. But
I have a theory.
It was interesting, and listening to the CIA guy talking about it, I think one of the most interesting things about it is that according to the official record, it was largely unsuccessful and proved ineffective. But then within the Freedom of Information Act that they just released without really any issue,
right?
There's these little nuggets where you're like, what the crap? What is this?
Yeah.
So I've seen a few different interviews of people who have apparently who were a part of the program. Mm-hmm. I remember one, and I wasn't even prepared to talk about this, but it popped into my brain. I remember watching one where they asked her, like, she was talking about all these different places that she's astral projected through time. And they asked, have you ever visited, did you ever go back and visit Jesus when he was crucified? And they would like freeze and like refuse to talk about it. Not like traumatic, but like, I refuse to look demonic. Like, I refuse to talk about that. Basically, kind of thing. Let's move on. And so they would move on, and then, I did Mars and a million years ago, like that kind of thing. And like, they were good to talk about all that stuff. So, but within these Freedom of Information Act files, there's these little nuggets. And these little nuggets are intriguing. So I want to talk about the nuggets that you can find within the Freedom of Information Act. And then we can go into the bigger part of it, because you probably know more about the bigger stuff.
Well,
right?
I was just going to touch on a little bit of like just how far back this went.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So they in the like overview thing that I skimmed through, they felt it relevant to mention that they started researching for this stuff in like the late 1800s. Like, this research goes back to like 1870. So this is like 150-year-old research at this point, which I thought was crazy. And then the other thing is, I just want to bring up the idea that this was largely ineffective sounds so hollow and stupid after last week talking about the Gateway program and the CIA's official narrative on that, and talking about how effective that process was and what people were able to do with those abilities. Like, they said they could alter things like reality in the past and the future, depending on like what level of like focus they were. So how are you going to sit there and tell me that it was ineffective for just spying on people?
Right.
Like, what? Like, those narratives don't match up. Like, regardless of which one you want to believe, or if you think the truth is somewhere in the middle or completely outside of what they're saying, okay, fine. But like, you're not going to sit there and tell me that both of those are true.
Yes. So, okay.
So anyway,
exactly. That's the hard part. Well, I want to remind me to come. I want to talk about that towards the end a little bit, because I've got some theories. But let's get through. So first, I want to talk about the what's in the files.
Okay.
So this is what was released in the files. This is information that is in the Freedom of Information Act files. Okay.
These are your nuggets.
Things that happened.
Found some gold.
So apparently, on one of these, they went and they basically what they would do, and what the guy explained on the podcast I was watching, was that they would have like almost like they tricked them into doing specific things. So they would either like give them coordinates of something and ask them, so it'd be like they give them a coordinate and ask them to go to this place and tell them what they see. And the coordinates would be of like the Golden Gate Bridge. So then if they were correct, it's very obvious whether they're correct or wrong.
Right.
And supposedly that was super unsuccessful. But then they would do things like have like a location written on a page inside of an envelope that they weren't allowed to see. Mm-hmm. And they would just ask them to go to this location or this whatever. Mm-hmm. Or they would like have like an object that they were specifically wanting them to find.
Right.
And then they would just astral project based off of like information they didn't have.
Right.
So the first one was they had written that they were to go to the planet Mars. They were given that that specific location, and the person knew that. And the time of interest that they were to go to was approximately 1 million years BC. So the person then goes through and he went and claimed that there was very tall beings who seemed to be living through like a collapse of the planet.
I have a question. Actually, I have two questions. Can I ask them now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Question number one. When was this? When did they do you know when that experiment was?
1984.
Okay. Question two. Was this meant to be something that they could confirm?
This one was and the protagonist of it, I guess, however you want to say, I'm as I tell these, I'm trying to keep myself independent. Okay. So someone who were to be an antagonist on this would say that this was proof of how far the project strayed away from its focus.
Okay.
Because there's no way to prove these things unless we were to go to Mars and go to specific locations that they claimed remnants of these civilizations were and dig to try to find them.
Okay.
That would be the only way to prove that.
Right. The reason I'm asking that is because I want to know if this was like something they were, if this was like a test, like a control group, or if they had already tested this person and confirmed that they could do this successfully, and then they were using them as a tool to find new information. Also, that's a very specific time.
Yeah.
A million years BC. That's a pretty specific time to send someone to. So if they were aware of what was going on at that time or knew that something was going on at that time, how'd they know that? I would really love to, like, there's a lot of questions that can go off of that one, but those are my big ones.
Yeah. So another session that is a little nugget was that they were trying to find a hidden object, and that's what is written in the files. And the viewer described that this object was in the Middle East. It was dark and damp. This object was tied to ceremonies, memories, resurrection, and that there were beings protecting this object. And until the proper time came, they would unalive anybody who tried to approach this object.
What
is your name? That they were trying specifically to find where the Ark of the Covenant was.
Oh, I was thinking Holy Grail.
Same difference.
Wrong Indiana Jones movie. My bad.
Yes. So
wait a minute.
Well, here's the thing. I think the significance of this isn't necessarily that they were specifically looking for holy relics.
Right.
That's intriguing, right?
Right.
Our government, which is science,
dude, it's literally
not Christian and not biblical.
Okay,
you know,
okay.
They were looking for biblical relics.
Rewrite Indiana Jones to include Operation Paperclip.
Yeah.
Boom.
Totally different. Yeah.
Literally Raiders. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes.
But it's the CIA instead of the Nazgul. What? I'm telling you, the movies had it all. They all knew. All
right. Next nugget. They apparently were remote viewing the Iran hostage crisis. They wanted to know where the hostages were kept. And so in the files, they used the astral projecting the Stargate system to figure out where the hostages were kept. And apparently this one was successful. Apparently.
I'm developing a theory.
Okay.
That one didn't really play into it too much, but it kind of did.
Yes.
Depending on the theory.
The program apparently claimed early success by locating a missing aircraft. So this was back before it was actually called the Project Stargate. It was when it was still part of the Operation Grill Flame was the name of it. It was the precursor to this. And they apparently did a remote viewing session in order to locate a missing Navy aircraft within about a 15 nautical mile radius of where its crash location was. And apparently this astral projector successfully found where it was, gave the information, and shared it, and they went and they found it almost immediately, which is what gave credit to the program as a whole in order to get it funded at the level that it needed funded. They used astral projectors against the Soviet submarine, like where they were building their submarines.
There was no Hunt for Red October.
No, not in the. Maybe I feel like I remember something like that, but no.
I just mean like
where they were specifically making these submarines, where they were manufacturing. Apparently they were successful in that as well. There's a handful of others. I wrote them all down. I don't think we necessarily need to get into all of them.
Can I throw my theory out now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. It's going to sound the same as most of our other theories that we had. Nephilim tech. We cool with that thought? We put ourselves in the Nephilim shoes. We get the current most powerful country in the world to let us give them this tech as long as we can kind of direct it. And like your first few uses of this, we show the usefulness of it, right? We're going to help you find this plane that went missing. We're going to help you find a Russian sub manufacturing plant. Okay. Now we can use it for some other stuff. Now you need to use it for this. We'd like you to find an ancient religious relic over in the Middle East. Why? I don't know.
It's a good theory. I'm going to save my theory. I'm going to save my theory for the end.
This is this is not a fully developed theory by any means, but no, that's just the way my mind is going. Like,
it's a good theory. Some other examples of things was they were trying to, like, they did the raw coordinates. I shared that example earlier.
Oh, one more side note. As far as the successfulness of it and the alleged, like, not successfulness of it, when has our government ever, like, continued to fund something that was just not yielding any sort of results for 40 years?
Technically, it was only 25 that the operation ran, but
technically,
there were experiments where there was like a person that they were trying to find, but the people didn't know anything about the target. They just would be like, show them an image of a person, and they would have to figure out where this person was. They tried to describe like rooms, interiors, safe rooms, that kind of thing. Like where were these people hidden in their room? Locations of how, like, hidden areas, like houses and stuff like that. Like what's in the immediate vicinity around them. They tried to find like hidden underground, like mountains and underground facilities and things like that. They tested viewers on objects that were hidden from view to see if they could tell what was put into that object. So they would almost like have to go back in time to watch them put it in the thing. Then it got into the going forward and backwards in time and trying to change time and that kind of thing. They apparently built, and this is in the files, they built a real training pipeline for psychic spies. So there's proof of the pipeline within the thing, but I think it's a ruse. I think it's fake, and I think the real pipeline was the GATE program. Right. Personally.
Yep. Agreed.
So then originally volunteers just signed up just to try it out. Trying to get through. It was bigger than just remote viewing, that kind of thing. But even after everything in the long run of things, was it successful? It's deemed to be unsuccessful. Okay. But when you hear CIA agents and former CIA agents and stuff like that talking about it. It seems like it was very successful.
I guess success depends upon like what your initial goal was too. Like technically, was it unsuccessful? I don't know. Were they trying to like remote view their way to directly interacting with God, and that didn't work? Okay, it was unsuccessful. Like what was your end goal?
Yeah.
Produced spies that could like psychically view and spy on other people in other countries. That sounded pretty successful. Was it to, alter reality throughout time?
Yeah.
Remotely using the mind. It seems like that was kind of successful. Stuff like that. Like, it just depends on what your measure of success is. But
so that was all of the stuff in the actual files.
Right.
The conspiracy theory part of it, of which has been from ex-CIA claims to anonymous sources to could just be made up bullcrap on the internet. So, first conspiracy theory. So we know that they did try. Whether they were successful or not, we don't know. But the conspiracy theory is that they actually successfully located secret Soviet weapons facilities, both making the subs and making the weapons. They were able to see their missile installations, their submarine bases, their research labs, their underground weapons facilities. Apparently, not in the files, but according to the alumni, we'll just call it that, they were successful in even describing like a large crane structure that was used to build the submarines and then later verified through having somebody like an actual spy went in and saw it in the real place where they said it was allegedly at. Apparently the ancient Mars one was bigger than that, and that they could go backwards in time and that kind of thing. Another conspiracy is that they're used to investigate UFOs. So that they would use the astral projectors to investigate UFO crashes, find UFO crashes, so that they could then go and pick up the UFO pieces and find possible alien bases on Earth. There was apparently a psychic arms race of the Cold War. And part of the theory of how America actually won the Cold War was we actually won the psychic Cold War, not the actual Cold War, because our programs got so advanced so fast that they weren't able to keep up, and we were able to like block them from finding our stuff because we apparently knew all this stuff ahead of time. Another alleged, and this just brings it all full circle for me, that Operation Stargate was actually linked to mind control experiments.
I mean,
that they would use, so that they would use these astral projectors basically to go and convince people to do things. Like it was almost like these humans would go and take over somebody's body and make them to do something that they didn't want to do, and then would leave and come back to their bodies.
Skip the like possession-ish part of it, and let's just imagine that you show up basically as like a ghost. Like somebody like you appear in front of somebody as like a ghost, and you're like, you must do this. Like you just had supernatural instructions given to you. Like, you don't even have to, like, possess somebody for that. Like, you just, like, 99% of the time, that person's going to obey that command. Because they just were spoken to by, from what they can tell, is a supernatural being. Maybe, I don't know, like, the details of how that would work, but, like, I can see that happening. Also, let's take a minute to wrap back to what we were talking about previously about, like, engineering trauma. Mm-hmm. Imagine how easy it would be to find people who are susceptible to like the subliminal messaging and causing like havoc by doing that.
Yeah.
By just, dude. So the possibilities with that are pretty much endless. There's so much you could do with that.
Absolutely. And I want to come back to that.
Okay.
One more thing.
Okay.
Of the conspiracy part of things before we really start to get fun and just
out there.
Theorize. Yeah, I want to go into theorizing because that's the fun part of this for me. So the last conspiracy is that they were able to successfully prove through evidence that we do have non-local consciousness, in that our consciousness isn't necessarily tied to our physical bodies, that our consciousness is separate from our physical being. And that through this process, through the research they did, they were able to successfully prove that our consciousness is not stuck within our body, that our consciousness can actually leave our body. So, with that, that is the end of the legit information, the legit-ish conspiracy theories that alumni have claimed, and I want to get into, let's just run wild with this. Okay. Have you ever looked into much, like, some of the, like, even like Native American lore of like some of their curses, and like how people would in South America especially, that there are people within these tribes that they are able to basically astral project themselves into like your house and can like actually like kill you. I was listening to a missionary who was telling us a story of they were in some of the inner tribes in South America, and to get into these tribes, they would have to go through the local like medicine man. Mm-hmm. And if the medicine man gave them access, they could get access. If they did not, they could not. And so they would have to meet with this tribal leader / medicine man. I can't remember. I might be using the wrong terms, and for that, I am wholeheartedly apologizing. But they would basically have to go through this person. This person would, and so they would do this. And so he was in the habit of like, they would try to just tell this person whatever they wanted to hear. Well, he said that in hindsight, he realized what he was actually doing was unknowingly making contracts with this person. And because of that contract, that person would then have access into his house and to be able to astral project, and they would come in and try to take him out. And he said numerous times he would wake up and I feel like I remember Commandy talking about something like this in the Discord once. But this specific one that I remember that I know of the missionary that was talking about it, that he would come in and try to, and then as soon as he woke up and saw him, the guy would disappear. And then the next night he would reappear, and he was like, I'm Christian, like in the name of Jesus, and then the person would disappear. But through doing some research and starting to figure stuff out after they had got home, what he started to realize was like they would be part of a small ceremony, a blessing ceremony, in order to come into our tribe. And they would basically unknowingly agree to these contracts that just because it's not a written contract like we have in America, right, but it was still a contract within their culture, that he would agree to these contracts, which basically gave this leader medicine man esque person rights to come and visit him whenever he wanted. And they would do that, and often they would try to take him out. And there are whole like teams that have been unalived in some of these areas, and there's no investigation. They just, because the tribal leader or whatever is just like, oh, these guys must have not been here for our good. And like, even like the recovering agencies like can't go in and even like recover them because they're so deep in the down in South America, and in some of the what do you call them? The untouched areas and regions and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's many different cultures that believe in this concept, whether they call it astral projecting or something else.
Right. Walking spirit plane.
Spirit walking. That kind of stuff. There's a lot of things that believe in that. My thoughts. So my first thought initially was that it's just something demonic, like trying to show them and basically showing them what they want to see. And so these demons could know where things were.
Right.
And so they could successfully find these things
Right.
to entice them into being more and more available. And then eventually the demons could just take over, that kind of thing. But the more I thought on that, I do think there is obviously demonic elements into this.
Yeah.
I'm starting to wonder if genuinely there isn't just a separation, and these guys are genuinely just learning how to separate consciousness from the physical body.
Yeah.
The hard part then comes into play of, okay, so how does your consciousness, so like the guys who would visit in their homes or whatever, yeah, how do they get from they're now in a consciousness, how do they then unalive somebody through just their consciousness?
Right.
Is there a physical element to your consciousness that's not tied to your physical body?
Right.
Is it able to manifest physical features, that kind of thing?
Right.
And part of the reason I kind of come to that conclusion is last week I talked about how I have had an out of body experience. Mm-hmm. Now it's possible that out of body experience was just all in my head. One could make that argument that it just was a imaginary fabrication. Mm-hmm. You could make that argument, but there's enough people who have had out of body death experiences where they are out of their body and they can explain things in different rooms that were going on while they were under surgery and while they were technically dead. There's enough of those that it makes it hard for me to believe that our consciousness is inherently tied to our bodies.
Yeah.
There's just been enough, and coming from the Christian slant on things, there's been enough things that I feel like there almost has to be a separation of our consciousness and the ability to leave the so-called physical body.
Agreed. So to kind of go back to the how would you be able to physically affect reality? I kind of wonder if going back to the gateway process, specifically the process, talking about the different focus levels, right?
Yeah.
If some people may have figured out how to go beyond focus 12 to focus 15 and focus 21, and some haven't. If that's the difference, and going back to the, whether it's demonic or just figuring it out, I almost feel like you have to, it doesn't have to be demonic necessarily, but I don't think that God would give you access to that for you to just have. Right. Like typically when like Christians talk about an out of body experience that they've had, they're like pulled, right? Like pulled and shown stuff, but it's not like they just go do whatever they want. There's a purpose for it. I don't think we're meant to have untethered access to that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if in the cultures we're talking about, if like they were shown that a long time ago and that tech was just passed down,
right?
Or if there's still active influences demonstrating how to do it, teaching them how to do it. But I feel like maybe some cultures, some places, some people have figured out how to go past just the viewing point and reach the ability to actually interact. And that's how they do the unaliving.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah. And that's okay. So this is kind of crazy. I looked it up while you were talking.
Okay.
So historical, and this is, again, I kind of talk about how we talk about how the global flood and why we believe in it is because obviously it talks about it in the Bible, but outside of that, cultures all over Earth talk about the global flood event around the same time.
Yep.
So these are cultures that are not linked, that believed in out of body travel of some, however you want to word it.
Right.
Astral projecting, that kind of thing, whatever.
Yep.
So we got ancient Egypt. They believed that your personality could leave the body and that your life force could leave the body. You have Hindu traditions. You have Tibetan Buddhism traditions. You have the shamanic Siberian cultures. the indigenous Amazonian tribes, which I talked about that. Then you have the ancient Greek mysticism. You have the Sufi Islamic mysticism. You have the Celtic spiritual traditions. You have the Australian Aboriginal Dreamtime beliefs. You have the Native American Vision Quest traditions. So cultures all over the earth, spread through time, have believed and came to the conclusion that you can successfully leave your body.
Yeah.
And whatever terminology you want to use. And so now we have all of these historical traditions, but now we have a government who is now, through multiple programs, researching it.
Yeah. And how to replicate it, how to do it
better,
consistently and effectively use it. Yeah.
And possibly even trying to find kids who are more susceptible to being able to do it.
Right.
If our theory of gate to gateway to Stargate
it's
was
just
the
Professor
process.
X, but like
literally
CIA Professor X.
Literally. But
you just spooked me. Professor S.
But it's crazy just thinking through like just all of the different cultures and all the different beliefs. And again, it comes back to why in the Western world do we disregard these conversations of just being out there kooky weird?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, again, I
think it's intentional.
This goes to all Western things.
Right. Right.
It's like Bigfoot we're not going to talk about it. It's weird. It's weird to believe in Bigfoot. Well, what if I believe that Bigfoot isn't necessarily just an animal? Well, it's still weird to believe. I don't really want to talk about it. You know, it's always funny because we get students like that. It's like the first conversation, like, wait, you believe in Bigfoot? And it's like, there's that condescension in the tone.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, give me 5 minutes. Yeah. If at the end of this 5 minutes, you still have that condescending tone, then we will never talk about this again. But and then guaranteed they bring something else up later on that's controversial because it opened the door of, hey, you've been conditioned, exactly like you just said. You've been conditioned to think that this is weird. This is another one of those things that is conditioned to be thought of as weird. Out-of-body experiences are a weird conversation.
Right.
Enough to the point where I think on the podcast was really the first time I'd actually like talked about it openly. And since it happened pretty much.
Yeah. I think I don't know exactly what the end game is for it, but I really think that we're conditioned for that because they don't want us asking questions about it. Whoever they is, whatever the end game is, they don't want the general public to be looking into this stuff. Right. They don't want you to ask questions because they don't want you to believe in it because they are doing something nefarious with it.
Yeah.
What? Up for speculation, up for debate. I don't know. And we've thrown our theories around, but.
And as a Christian, I would say I would err against this practice.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that it opens you up to the demonic.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah.
Just
this specific thing.
Right.
Yep.
And so I think, and I want to be careful, and I think that's, as Christians, we can talk about this stuff without it being taboo while not wanting to engage in it ourselves.
Yeah.
I have no ambition. After doing all of my research on this, I have zero ambition to go and try to figure out how to astral project.
I put it in the same category as a Ouija board.
Yeah, I would say same.
It works. It does its intended thing.
Yes.
You know, that doesn't mean it's a good thing to do.
Right.
You know, this one might not be quite as like directly nefarious as a Ouija board, but like it's still like you're toying with that.
Yeah.
You're putting your, like I said, I don't think we're meant to have untethered access to this region of our minds, of the universe, of energy fields, whatever you want to think of it as. I don't think we're meant to be able to do that without a hand holding it, you know, like holding us and being like, I'm showing you this for a reason. You know, those experiences have a purpose, in my opinion. Like whatever the purpose is, I don't know. That's God's thing. But I think that to be playing in that area without that guide is dangerous and not recommendable.
Yeah. So, fun thought for you.
Okay.
Could the Mount of Transfiguration just been Moses and Abraham astral projecting to be in the presence of Jesus?
Maybe.
But through God holding their
doing
hands?
Yeah, maybe.
Or,
Maybe.
I think personally, but again, so I always view the Mount of Transfiguration as all three of them and God lifting the constraints of time.
Right.
And all three of them physically actually being there
right.
at the same time.
Right.
But I'm also not opposed to the idea of that God basically was as like God controlling it.
Right.
Was basically astral projecting,
putting their consciousnesses there together. Yeah.
Did I say Abraham?
Yeah.
I meant Elijah.
I knew what you meant. My brain glossed over it too, but once you said it, I heard it.
Somebody's already typed a comment and hit enter.
My mom.
And now they feel dumb because I corrected myself. Yeah, it's your mom.
Okay, on a less biblical strain, and going back to stuff we've talked about before, do you think that we'll call it a fact, the fact that our consciousness is not fully constrained to our body, and that there is a part of us that's kind of in the ether, we'll say it that way. Do you think that has anything to do with like when we sync up and say something at the same time, like something out there like affecting two people the same way and they say the same thing at the same time for the same reason? Like because you've had that happen, right?
Yeah.
Like something that shouldn't, like, it's just too much of a coincidence to just happen. Stuff like that. Yeah. And or, I'll say the same thing with, like, deja vu, Mandela effect. Do you think there's a part of us that just feels the influence of something that happened in space-time or outside of space-time that we weren't consciously aware of? But, and maybe it goes back to the dreams thing too. Do you think that maybe part of our consciousness does wander through outside of what we see, feel, consciously experience when we're asleep? Because that's kind of how all this research started, right? Like 1870s, 80s, they're like, what happens when we sleep?
Yeah.
I do kind of wonder if it's all kind of connected to that, because we've talked about persistent dreams and the experiences there. I had a nasty case of deja vu the other night. I don't know what it was. I don't even remember. It was something I was doing in my house, mundane, random thing that I was doing. And like, it just hit me hard. I was like, what the crap? Like, I feel this. It's such a unique and strange feeling, but you just know that it's real. In that moment, whatever it is, you know that you experienced it before. Mm-hmm. Why? Don't know. But, I wonder if it has something to do with that.
During your dream, you astral projected into the future and you witnessed that moment.
Maybe.
And so your
left brain covered it up.
Yep. Your subconscious is like, oh yeah, I was here. I know how this is. Oh, okay. All right. The moment's gone. And I went back into my body.
That's kind of what that feels like to me.
That's a good theory. Bud.
I really feel like that could be
That'd
what
be
that
crazy,
is.
and that's your dream is just. But it would be. I don't know, because at that point though, is it visions or is it astral projecting?
Well, okay, so
and now you got to define what is the out of body experience.
Maybe there's a below focus 10, right? Like if we go back to the focus levels, maybe there's like a focus 8, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a pretty relaxed state. You're in a dream state. You're in REM. Maybe REM is just your left brain is shut down. Mm-hmm. Your right brain does the wandering. Maybe you don't have. Maybe the reason that you have to get your brain waves to sync up in order to project yourself out is that your left brain just doesn't. It's the guide. That's the conscious part that's like, okay, we do this.
Yeah.
Has a direction to it. Maybe your right brain just wanders. and your left brain suppresses that most of the time. You don't really recognize it. And most of the time, maybe you're just floating around. You don't really have a direction. You're just kind of going through whatever. I don't know the details of how that works because my brain shut down when I sleep, so I don't know. But maybe you just happen to once in a while bump into your future self, something that is going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's pretty innocuous most of the time. You don't really know why. But when you get there, it's just like, I remember this.
Yeah.
How do I remember what's about to happen?
Yeah.
And it never lasts for more than a few seconds. But, like, it's there.
Yeah.
It's there. Everybody experiences it. Everybody knows that's a thing that happens.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just an idea. Just an idea.
Yeah. It's interesting. But, you know, one thing with each culture was they believed that you could intentionally leave your body.
Right.
Not even just accidentally or weird happenstance have an out-of-body experience.
Right.
Because I talked about how having an out-of-body experience and reading about some of those people who did that and they could prove things that happen in other rooms. Something like
Right.
Again, you're at the discretion of were they telling the truth in this? And
But if there's that much consistency throughout cultures, throughout the world, throughout time. But then the thing is, the difference there is they reached focus 12.
Yeah.
However they did it, whatever caused them to do it, their left brain was still engaged and synced up with the right brain, and they were out there consciously.
Right.
Body was asleep, but they were conscious.
So,
however that works.
So then my question is, if you're able to leave your body, why do you need your brain to sync up?
Because that's how you leave the body.
So if you leave the body and somebody takes out your body, or let's say a demon finds its place in your body, you don't need your brain to continue the astral projecting.
Right.
And so it's almost like it's not even necessarily like getting your brain to project your consciousness. It's more getting your brain to let go of your consciousnness.
Right. That's
to allow the release of the connection.
I prefer to think of it that way.
Yeah.
Think of it as like a deadbolt and a knob lock, right? To get out, you got to disengage both.
Yeah.
Or engage, whatever, however you want to think about it. It doesn't, that's not a perfect analogy, but like
it's almost like a rope. You're cutting the rope that's holding on to your
you've got
consciousness.
2 ropes.
Yeah.
You got to cut both of them.
You got to cut them. Otherwise your body hangs on to your consciousness.
Yep. Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah.
There's not I can't come up with a great analogy for that.
It's tough.
But I prefer to think of it that way, where it's like you're latched on to your body. And there's a way to fully let go, but I think the syncing up the brainwaves is the release rather than the push.
Right. Cultural, like different cultures, all like so many of them, not all, so many of them do believe in it and an intentional ability of leaving your body.
It kind of goes back to the gateway process, talking about, the fear of losing yourself.
Yeah.
Right? That sense of self. And so like people get freaked out about it. They're holding on.
Yeah.
You shouldn't want to let go, in my opinion. I don't think you should want to let go.
I think that's a dark place.
I think that's a very dark, very dangerous place
to want to want to let go of your physical. And I think we were built to want to stay connected too, because our fear of death and that kind of stuff. That I think there was some intentionality with that.
Agreed.
Thought process on our consciousness.
Agreed.
So, anything else you?
No, that's
Okay, we're just the last thing, and we can now transition into next week's episode. So we've got kids who are on the spectrum, heavy on the spectrum, who are experiencing out-of-body experiences, going to this place called the Hill, in which they meet Jesus. And all of the other kids heavy on the spectrum, not all, but a lot of other kids heavy on the spectrum, are also going to this place called the Hill, in which they are encountering Jesus. Kids who are from cultures that are not Christian, kids whose parents are not Christian, kids whose families are actually very anti-Christian, are having this same experience. And it seems to be an out-of-body experience where they're going to this place called the Hill. And I am more intrigued. We talked about the telepathy tapes at one point in time. Mm-hmm. I am more intrigued than I was that last time because of our research on the Gate Project.
Yeah.
And Gateway.
I have a quick question, and this is going to sound ridiculously unrelated, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Did you watch not the last Predator movie, and I don't even think the one before. I think they made two since. The one that had Jake Busey in it.
I don't know.
Please watch it before next week.
Okay.
I will try to remind you.
50-50 chance I'll be able to do that.
Please do.
I will try.
Please do.
I will try. I will warn you, I cannot tell you the last movie I've been able to successfully watch. Having little kids, I
think this one will...
And not even little kids. Once you have kids that are
it's relevant.
Able to bring... So once we finally reach the age of okay, Bennett was old enough that he now knows what we're watching. We did enter in a tiny little window where once he went to bed, we'd have time to watch. Uh-huh. And then now we have another little whose bedtime is now no longer the same. There we have the routine, but he wants his bedtime to be different than his brother's. And so he fights sleep at night. And so now we put the one to bed and then the other one's awake. And so it's just so hard to watch movies. We tend to watch TV shows because TV shows are half hour to an hour,
right,
whereas movies are a couple hours. So it's hard for us to watch movies right now. And so I cannot tell you the last time I watched a movie, but text me, remind me.
Yeah, we'll do. It's relevant. I promise you will enjoy it simply for the relevance factor. The rest of the movie is kind of, I think it's Predators. I think I'll find it. I'll figure it out, or maybe the Predator.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch movies until you know for sure which one it is.
I'll figure it out.
All right,
and I'll send it to you. Okay.
With that,
do not forget to your spiel first.
Oh, I was gonna say patreon.com/BA Bigfoot. Subscribe. You've got hours and hours of extra content in there if you want it.
Yeah. For
$5 a month or $10 a month, and you get even more content for the $10. And we've got a few things we're cooking, and we're getting ready to do some more stuff. It's going to be good. The Patreon is worth the investment into the future of this podcast if you enjoy it. And then insanelabs.com, use the code BA Bigfoot. You get 45% off of certain products. And we get a decent kickback of a lot of that stuff. Probably the best products in the market.
Really good stuff.
Their product, everything, we love Insane Labs for a lot of reasons. I know some people can't get over the fact that everything's horror themed. I get that, but they take FDA inspections very seriously. They've never had lower than 100% grade on their, so they're perfect in their monthly.
I promise you
FDA
that a killer
inspections.
clown is not going to jump out of the bottle and scare the pants off of you. It's fine. Okay. If that's your holdup, it's fine.
Their stuff is,
trust me.
I've had protein before where I remembered thinking, man, I genuinely am concerned that this is actually protein.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like I'm drinking protein.
I'm so excited for my 100% way to get here.
And Insane Labs is not that. Every product of theirs, it's I know and I trust that what they're saying is in here.
Top-notch quality, good stuff.
Best quality, in my opinion. And they're owned by local. They're other products like the Ghost and all that. They've been bought out by major corporations.
Yeah, no, they own their product.
Efficacy is dropped because of that. These guys, Insane Labs, it's the guy who created it is still the owner.
They're cool dudes.
He's awesome.
They're cool dudes.
They're all of the team. But anyway, all right. I went off on that way longer.
Yeah, no,
but I do believe in what they do.
Subscribe, join the Discord.
They believe in us. So don't forget
to be your BA best.
All right.
And we love you.
And don't leave your body.
Yeah.
If you can prevent it.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
You should do that thing. Bye.
Bye.
ancient days of giants, when the earth was wild and free, a creature roamed the valleys, cloaked in mystery. Is he born of angels' blood and man, a Nephilim so tall, or a shadow of the fallen, yet heeding the Maker's call? He's a biblically accurate Bigfoot, with a lineage from the skies. Not a myth or legend, but a truth that never dies. Is he a remnant of the Nephilim, a titan standing tall? Or does he have the word of God upon